Hey, this is Ram from RVNomading.com. In February this year, I had a break in the motorhome, and they came in through the side window, which is next to the door here. We took out the whole window, and I've been looking for a window ever since. Today we're going to replace that window with some clear plexiglass with my friend Gobble here, and we're going to see if we can just put in a fixed window so that it stays closed all the time. The original window that was in there could open, and therefore they had a hinge at the top that was riveted in there, and so we had to drill out the rivets first before we can get to the source, but that was only the top part there that we had to do. The biggest challenge we faced with this frame was that it wasn't straight. It was slightly oval and had two depths, so you'll notice an inside frame and an outside frame. So we constantly had to manually measure up the window and then draw a line on it, and then cut and then match again, and then cut and match again. So it was a bit of a to and from process, quite a lot of manual lining up and also a bit of a rough cut. But look at the frame itself, it's kind of sunken in, and on the inside it's got a rubber frame, and then the outside. So we worked on the outside first to get like an outside piece fitting, and then we cut a smaller inside piece and we put them together, which we'll show you. But to make the rough cut a bit smoother, we used the machine with sandpaper on it like that, and we could smooth out the edges and make the corners nice and round to match the shape of the frame, and all in it was very professionally done. Here we are now working on the smaller piece on the inside, so we put the big piece that we knew was fitting quite well down, and then we marked very carefully where we wanted the two of them to be joined up, and then we tapped a few holes with a tap drill, and then Gabor even made a bit of a sink in for the heads of the screws so that they would fit really flush with the edge of the plexiglass and not stick out. And that not only pulled them very tightly together, but it made it look very smooth. And then we had the edge left to drill holes in for fitting onto the frame itself. And that pulled the whole thing in quite tightly together and onto the frame very nicely. So here you can see the two pieces together, and we're just making the edges a bit smoother. It was the holes cut on the outside edge that would allow us to mount it onto the actual frame. And so here's the end result of this window installed. This is from the inside. On the inside I still had the frame for the shade that was left intact after the break-in. They did break the mosquito net, but you know, as the window is now fixed, it doesn't really matter, and it's just nice because now I have a solid window here. This can close up, and it looks really smart. On the outside, the window does look very, very professional, and I've now filled up the screw heads with a very strong epoxy, and now what's left to do is take it to a place where they can tint this window for me, maybe a dark rim on the outside and then a shade on the inside. So all in, you know, extremely good looking window, pretty much better than the original. I mean, this is a really strong window compared to the original type that was in there. So good job, very successful, and I'm very happy with it.